towards number 1 all the time on this rocket. That's why you get to drive engine 1 here. But back here, this is where we sit. We all have headphones on, and that's so that when you heard how loud this was, when you're riding inside of it, we really can't hear each other. So we put headphones on, and that's how we talk to one another inside the fire engine. So we get dressed back here. You notice our FTVAs, our breathing tanks, are inside the seat. So we can get dressed and we walk off the fire engine when we're ready to fight the fire. So we'll grab our tools. Dan's going to come over here, and this is our pump. We hook up the hose from the fire hydrant to the pump here, and then Dan controls all these levers depending on whichever hose that we pull, so we can get water to the fire.
Which one has water?
Which one has water? Well, none of them have water right now. There's a tank. There's a tank behind this that holds 750 gallons of water. So that's like that's probably about 10 baby pools put together. How's that for grabbing? 10 baby pools.
I don't understand that one.
So you come down here. These are all just certain fittings. Sometimes we have to take hoses that are big and run them into smaller hoses. So that's why we do all these little fittings here. This is called just a regular spray pipe. It goes on a 2.5-inch hose, which is a large attack hose. But if you hold on to this, you can see how heavy it is.
Whoa.
It's not that heavy, but once water starts flowing through it, it's really hard to handle. It's a little bit bigger than your average garden hose. One at a time here, one at a time. Ready? There you go. Yeah. Who's next? There you go. Ready? Alright. It's almost half the size. Yeah. That's the plug-in extension cord into. You can turn too. So if Dan has to fill the tank back up, remember that big tank we have there? You could just roll this out to the hydrant and fill it up real quick if we're out and about. It's just a real quick way of doing it. We have foo-foo juice. So you know after there's a fire, there's a lot of smoke and it smells real bad. Well, this is like perfume for the air. We spray that in there and it takes away all that bad smell.
Does it really take
Come back here. Now this is, who's heard of the jaws of life? Yeah, this is in case somebody's trapped inside of a car and we have to get their doors open or we have to get the roof off their car. This is already attached. Other units we have to set up a compressor and hoses, but this is attached, so we could just grab this, run up to the car, and these actually spread apart, and we could pop open a door.
How do you do
and
it?
these are like big scissors, okay? And what they do is they cut through the metal, so we could cut through all the posts of the car and take the top off the car. How does it work? Well, there's a power unit back here, like a little motor, and it does this. We could put it back on and off, yeah, but right now we're not going to do it because it's loud and noisy and we have to pull the rig out, okay? And that's going to give us a lot of smoke in here that we don't want you breathing. Alright? So we'll put this back in there. You guys can't hold that. That one's a little bit too heavy for you. A little bit too heavy. What these are? That's right, fire extinguishers, and we carry 3 different kinds because not all fires are alike. They look alike, but they're not all alike. Some, this has water in it, this has a dry chemical in it, and this actually has CO, just air, in it, okay? The black thing, this actually gets very cold. When we discharge it, because this air is under so much pressure, when it comes out, it's so cold, and that spreads it out a lot better and allows the fire to get smothered. This is actually called a portable hydrant. You know what fire hydrants look like, right? They're on the side of the road. This is where we hook our hoses up to. Well, we call this a portable hydrant because we actually take it up a long driveway and we feed it with a 4-inch hose, which is a real big hose, and then we could run smaller hoses off of it to fight the fire. And we also carry a fan on this. Because again, after a fire, there's a lot of smoke and hot air inside the house, and we want to get that out because we're still looking for little fires, and we have to determine what caused the fire.
Yeah, because it can get bigger.
Right. So we hooked this up, and we were able to blow all the smoke out of the house to make it a lot better on us.
Fire.
That's right. Down here, these are, we call them the irons, and what it is halogen and ash. And that's good for prying into doors and popping the doors open. Because most of the time when we go to fires at night, people do what you do at home. You lock your doors. So we got to make sure we can get in there, and that's what we use these for. We also carry bolt cutters. Yeah.
Audrey, you gotta let them talk and maybe raise your hand if you have
So
a
the
question.
bolt cutters, sometimes there's locked gates or just locked areas that we have to get into. We get these bolt cutters out, and then we're able to cut any chain, and we get right in. Another interesting thing we have, this is an apartment pad. You know how tall apartment buildings get, right? Remember on the other side? And it had tips about that big. Well, the deck gun is a big version of that with tips that stand that high. Okay, and this is a base for that. We take it down and set it up on a base. It gives you a lot of water at once. So if there's a big fire, that's what we have to do for that. Yes, Audrey.
Just like, if the key bank's on fire, you could use that.
The key bank?
Yeah.
If the key bank's on fire, we might be using this. Okay, yeah, we'll probably be using that. Or the key bank higher floors, we'll definitely get in there and use that. We have a lot of hose on here to attack the fire with, and Dan's going to get us the water to fight the fire. And that's about it. Again, the firefighter sits back there, and this is where the boss of the fire engine sits. Today it's the captain. It's either a captain or a lieutenant that sits up here, and he has a computer up here. This is what our dispatch sends our orders to. So it tells us what kind of call we're going to, and where exactly we're going to address it.
How do you know what house it is?
Because they'll tell us they'll give us an address. And we have to know where all the streets are, so then we just find your house on the street. All right, do you have any other questions for me? Yes, Audrey.
How does the shoot feel?
How does the suits feel?
Yeah.
Wearing your
They
fire
feel
suit.
heavy and hot.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Now, would you wear your big winter coat to a swimming pool when it's 100 degrees out? It'd be hot, wouldn't it? And that's what we got to wear every day we go to fight a fire. And if it's 100 outside, then it's 300 inside. So that's why we need these big heavy coats. It protects us from that heat of the fire. Okay? Any other questions? No? All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming to visit us. Anytime you want to stop by, feel free. We have 2 stations, one here and one out at Shaker and Warrensville Center. So you've seen this one, you might want to take a look at their station.
Well, I guess the last thing we have to do, guys, is say thank you.
You're very welcome. Have fun at Safety Town, okay?
And they gave us some gifts. Look, they give us
Oh,
some
yeah.
gifts. So let's go back to